When it comes to real estate, everyone is talking about prices and how high they are today. Since I love looking at real numbers and real market data and sharing it with you, I am going to show you where prices are today and where prices were in 2019 to really give you some context on the numbers. We're going to separate single-family homes and condos in some of the most popular neighborhoods in Miami that I cover. I am Jose Laya. I was born and raised right here in Miami, and I've been selling real estate in this city for over 20 years. I have seen every market cycle this city has gone through, and even I find these numbers remarkable. Let's start with single-family homes. And we wanted to take a quick snapshot of not only where prices are today, but to give you more context by looking at where prices were in 2019, which was the last normal year before the pandemic. So let's jump right into the numbers and we'll quickly tell you what's on the graph. We have 2019 median price per square foot and median price sold versus our most recent numbers, which is first quarter of 2026. And then the bottom row in yellow is the percent change. What you're going to find across the board is a remarkable increase in prices from 2019 to 2026. Let's go across the board. Let's start with South Beach homes. Look at 2019. The median price per square foot for non-waterfront homes was at $667. $1,558 for waterfront homes. Look at 2026. That number jumped from $667 to over $1,000 per square foot and over $2,600 per square foot for waterfront homes in South Beach. More remarkable is look at the median price sold for South Beach. You used to be able to get a house in 2019 for about $1.5 million. That's now jumped up to almost $3 million for non-waterfront homes, while waterfront home essentially almost doubled from 9.2 million to over $17 million. Just right there, you could see the huge run up in prices over the last several years. Going across the board, look at Coconut Grove. We'll go straight to the bottom. I mean, incredible. Look at this. Median price per square foot went from $443 to over $1,100 a foot. Median price sold from about $1 million to over $3 million. Look at that, almost 200% increase in the price of non-waterfront homes in Coconut Grove. Going across the board, Coral Gables, again, remarkable numbers. Median price of $409 jumped to $917. That's more than double. Median price sold from $867,000 to $2 million. Pinecrest, since it's a landlocked neighborhood, there's no waterfront homes. Look at the median price per square foot. Again, doubled again, $342 to $843. Median price sold doubled from $1.1 million to over $2.7 million. As you can see in single family homes in these neighborhoods, I mean, pricing across the board has pretty much doubled and even closely almost tripled in some of these neighborhoods. And now we kind of want to highlight what stands out in this graph to us. And we notice that if you look just at median price sold, which really tells you what homes are selling for in each neighborhood, if we first look at non-waterfront homes, look at this. The largest increase on a dollar perspective is in Coconut Grove for non-waterfront homes. It went in 2019 from just over $1 million to now it's nearly tripled to over $3 million for a non-waterfront home, median price sold. Incredible. If we look at waterfront homes, Coral Gables takes the prize. Waterfront homes in Coral Gables, look at this. They had a median price of about $3.4 million in 2019. That's almost tripled in 2026 to over $10.2 million. Now, these are astronomical numbers that are very specific to these neighborhoods. It not only shows the strength of these neighborhoods, but the demand as well. And this is why we like to put the numbers up on these graphs for you to see and let the numbers do the talking. What I have learned in over 20 years in the real estate market in Miami is that real estate is hyper local. Each neighborhood acts differently, and that has only been magnified post-pandemic. So while you see here that prices have doubled or tripled, you can literally go to the neighborhood next door and the numbers may be very different. So please take note. Now we're gonna move into condos and show you that graph. Now we have the graph up for the condo market, and let's jump right in. If you look at the median price sold, look at South of 5th. It basically doubled in price from 2019 to 2026. 742,000 to over 1.4 million. While look at Coconut Grove. That number went from 534,000 to almost $1.4 million. An increase of over 2.5 times. Pretty incredible. While this was very interesting to us, the two of the largest condo markets in all of South Florida, including downtown Miami and Brickell. Look at this, downtown Miami almost doubled, about an 80% increase from a median price sold of $322,000 to just above $573,000, while Brickell was up 57%, median price sold of $368,000 to over $577,000. Every single neighborhood, every single segment significantly up over the last several years. To us, what stands out in this graph? So first, we want to point out that if we look at the median price sold, which neighborhood had the largest increase? And look at this, people. Pay attention. Just like in single family homes, Coconut Grove had the largest increase, nearly tripling in price for condos. That right there tells you a lot about Coconut Grove and how popular it has become, as it leads in price increases in single family homes from the previous graph that we showed you and in condos. That's pretty extraordinary. And now, the second thing that stood out to us about this graph here for the condo market, and it truly surprised us, is Brickell. For those that know Brickell, I always refer to it as the mini Manhattan of Miami. It's one of the most dynamic urban neighborhoods in all of Miami, with a great mix of high-rise office towers, high-rise luxury condos, shopping, dining, great transportation options, all in a small, dense neighborhood. You really have world-class businesses, including some of the top hedge funds such as Citadel, who's moved in and has truly elevated Brickell as a destination. So given all the excitement, we were very surprised to see the numbers here that show it had the lowest price increase of all neighborhoods, 57% from 2019 to 2026. Now, that's not a small number by any means. However, relatively speaking to these neighborhoods here, it is at the bottom of the pack. We're going to take this time to mention that right now as we speak, there's a number of luxury high-rise condos under construction in Brickell that are being sold at much higher prices per square foot and dollar values as well. So we're gonna have to wait and see how those new towers and much higher pricing impact Brickell. Could it mean that it will bring all other pricing in the neighborhood higher? We'll keep you posted. For those who ask, what's caused prices to increase across the board? We'll start by saying that the pandemic relocation wave brought hundreds of thousands of people to South Florida. Most of them were high income earners in global financial firms and hedge funds who planted their flag here in South Florida. Buyers from within the United States discovered Miami in a new way. While you had a city that was already growing and became one of the most in-demand real estate markets in the world. What does this mean for you right now? If you own property in any of these neighborhoods, you're more than likely sitting on significant appreciation. And you probably ask yourself, can this continue to go up? If you are thinking about buying, understanding where prices have come from helps you understand the value of where they are today and maybe going in the future. One other thing to note is that there is a much larger increases in prices of single-family homes versus condos across the board. And this speaks to what buyers value more in today's market. I cover every one of these neighborhoods with real market data and real numbers. And if you want the full picture, the link is in our bio of our most recent first quarter of 2026 market update. If you ever have any questions, you can reach out directly. I'm always happy to help.